Hi, Huskies! We're excited about you and the wonderful teaching and learning that has been happening during our inaugural year at Silver Creek Middle School. You and your teachers have put forth an enormous amount of effort with being knowledgeable, inquiring, and reflective learners. Now is the time to show off. You get to show off your intellectual skills to MCPS and the nation with all you've learned. One way we will communicate how dynamic and amazing we are as a school is with the PARCC test.
The PARCC is an online assessment to show how well students are being prepared for attending college and/or having a career.
Data from the PARCC will communicate the evidence of what you have learned throughout this entire year. It will inform or tell Silver Creek Middle School of the instructional areas that we can totally celebrate as a school, and also inform us about those instructional areas we need to improve as a school.
The PARCC has 5 levels. Level 1 means that you did not quite meet the exceptions. Level 2 means you partially met the expectations. Level 3 means you approached the expectations. Level 4 means you met the expectations. And level 5 means you exceeded the expectations.
So remember, our goal as a school is to show growth between levels 4 and 5 to show that we are meeting and exceeding the expectations. So we want you to do your very best because the scores will be shared with you, your parents, Silver Creek Middle School staff, and Montgomery County Public School systems. So keep calm and rock the PARCC test.
The first week of PARCC testing will begin tomorrow on May 1st through 3rd during periods 1 and 2, as well as periods 6 and 7. The second week of testing will begin on May 7th and go until the 9th. As you can see here on the schedule, each grade level has been assigned either an AM or a PM testing time. When your grade level is not testing, you're going to follow your regular class schedule. In order to ensure that we show respect for our fellow Huskies who are testing, there will be no bells ringing in between classes during the AM and PM testing blocks. A bell will ring after the testing has finished. All students will test in an assigned location. Although most students will test with their homeroom teachers, there will be some exceptions. Some students will test with their homeroom teacher. You might be testing with your homeroom teacher, or you will be testing with another Silver Creek teacher. You will receive that information later today.
Here's an example of a testing location that you will receive today from your homeroom teacher. Let's look at this example together. This student Husky is a 6th grader, and on week 1, beginning tomorrow through the 3rd, they will take the ELA, which stands for English Language Arts PARCC test, between periods 6 and 7 in room 249. The following week, May 7th through the 9th, they will take their math PARCC test on periods 1 and 2 in the same room, 249. 7th graders, it's very important to recognize that some of you will be taking the PARCC algebra test, and your location is going to be different than your ELA location. So please pay careful attention to your schedule. There are some special circumstances, and on the back of your testing location, you will see a chart for students who are in a class with other grade levels. For example, you may take Spanish and you're in a class with 6th and 7th graders. Here is a chart to let you know where you should go when your teacher is giving the PARCC test to their grade level homeroom. For example, for 6th graders only, if you have the following teachers, report to Mrs. Snyder in room 232. So if you have Mrs. Castro, period 1, and you are a 6th grader, you need to report directly to Mrs. Snyder in room 232. Mr. Ankra and Ms. Alexander both have 6th graders in their first period class. They too will need to report to Mrs. Snyder's room 232 for dates May 1st through the 3rd. Teachers, you will now pause the video, disseminate the testing locations to each student, and help them understand their schedules.
Welcome back! It will be important to remember that if you have a world language, reading, elective, or math teacher who teaches both 6th and 7th grade, that you remember the location of where you need to go during PARCC, because you will not be allowed to enter your normal classroom during that period. It will also be important that you do not lose this location sheet, because you will need to know where you're going. It is your responsibility to keep it in your binder, or you might want to tape it inside of your locker so that it's always in a good place for you to find. However, if you do need help remembering where to go during PARCC test, Silver Creek staff is here to help you.
Since the PARCC test is an assessment that Maryland students will be taking, there are PARCC rules that must be followed by everyone. Be sure to arrive to school and your testing session on time. There are no electronic devices allowed in the testing session. This includes cell phones, smartwatches, Fitbits, and Kindles. You must keep electronic devices in your locker. However, if you forget and bring an electronic device, such as a cell phone, to the testing location, the teacher must ask you to turn it off and place it at the front of the room. This can be considered a testing violation, which would be written up for you and your teacher. At the end of testing, it will be returned to you. Please be sure to remain seated at all times and within your testing location until the test is over. That is when your teacher will allow several students at a time to use the restroom, and there will be an SCMS adult monitoring the hallways to ensure that students are returning promptly to their testing session so that other students may use the restroom. Again, no bathroom breaks allowed until after testing has been concluded within your homeroom time.
Since the PARCC will only be 80 to 90 minutes, the test is unable to test everything that you've learned this year. Therefore, there isn't really any way to study in advance for it. However, there are some testing strategies that you can use to help. For example, read all directions carefully. Read all questions carefully. Be sure you know what is being asked of you. Look at all choices before you answer. Eliminate answers you know are wrong. Paraphrase the questions. Think carefully. Check your work. And always remember to do your best. Some math test taking strategies are: read the problem and mark, underline, circle important information. Solve the problem on paper, not in your head, and use a strategy to check your work. Show all of your work. Think through the solution and decide if it makes sense.
There are also tools called accessibility tools on the PARCC that are provided for all students to use. These tools can help you with testing strategies like process of elimination or even highlighting. Here's a video that shows you where the tools are located and how to use them. Teachers, please play the video for students and then return to the PowerPoint for last-minute reminders.
Now that you've seen some of the accessibility tools and reviewed test-taking strategies, we know that you will rock the PARCC. Our goal as a school is to show growth at level 4 or 5, meeting or exceeding expectations. So don't forget to...
Our key messages for unlocking your growth mindset: we believe in you. You can do it. Don't give up. Effective effort leads to achievement.
Eat a healthy breakfast.
Do the very best you can on your road to success.
Take a deep breath and relax.
And please be sure to get some sleep tonight. So, calling all Huskies to the floor. Oh, Huskies, it's time to show that you rock the PARCC. Oh, Huskies.